Welcome to Drive Time Exchange. As rubber hits the road, hard talk meets great music. Monday to Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. on Nett Radio, taking you above and beyond.
A black boy was he. The boy went to school and he come out unseen. Never learned how to read, he never learned about math. Never learned how to write, he never studied about that. All he studied was his speakers, his sneakers and clothes. He learned how to dress and he learned how to pose. He can't get no work, he can't get no job. He decide to steal and he decide to rob. But little black boy couldn't last long at all. The police put a bullet through his dunce head skull. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and off poverty. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and all poverty. Why, yeah, 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 yeah. Why, yeah, 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 yeah. There was a little black boy, a rude boy was he. All the boy ambition was to conduct a maxi. With a ring in his nose, a gold teeth in his mouth. He feel very proud when they call him a tout. So proud was the boy that the boy never learned. He could have worked hard and buy a maxi of his own. So he hustled for $1, he hustled for a smoke. He hustled so that he could buy a little coke. Now he hook on the coke and off the maxi. And one more little black vagrant in the country. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some.
Well, good day, everybody, and of course, so welcome, Ted. Good to have you here. This is New Era TT Radio, taking you above and beyond. Well, we are the heartbeat of the Caribbean, and we are so happy to have you on the inside. Of course, this is your drive time exchange, and of course, at this point in time, this is where we are joined by none other than journalist extraordinaire himself, Mr. Tony Fraser. Tony, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon to you, Charles. Good to hear you. How was your weekend?
It was a pretty decent one. Pretty good. And thanks much for asking.
That's great, man. To have a little bit of a chill after the week, right?
Yeah. You know, after that, you kind of just get into the normal norms and you start to float again.
I know you're under pressure Monday to Friday. You're alone.
Yeah, even weekend sometimes it's like that too, you know.
Yeah. Well, Charles, as you know, we're going to engage a discussion this afternoon. Well, it's more like some people revealing, a couple of people revealing to Trinidad and Tobago and any people everywhere there can be, via this program, the story of two individuals. And one of them is the gentleman who composed and sung that calypso. I think it was back in the late 90s, not too sure exactly which year. He was reflecting on what he saw in the society. A lot of little black boys who were straying, not coming to grips with the reality of life in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know that it has got any better since then. Perhaps it's got worse. So what we did was to invite Winston Peters, the Gypsy, as everybody knows, him, the composer of the song, and a gentleman called Allan Ferguson, who is the president of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association. Welcome to the program, Mr. Ferguson. Did I get your title correctly?
Yes, you get it correct, man.
Good to hear you. And Mr. Peters, how are you, sir? Take off your microphone. Put on your microphone. Your microphone is.
Your microphone is muted.
Okay. he will catch on in a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Okay, Tony, it's on now.
All right. You
Hi,
looking?
Tony. Hi, Tony. Hi, Alan. How you all doing?
Fine, 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 Gypsy.
Good to see you, man.
Gypsy, you
And
look like if you're going on stage in a moment or so.
No, I'm not. I'm on my watermelon stage now.
All right. All right. As I indicated, that you, Gypsy, raised this thing. I'm trying to figure out the date. Was it in the late 90s sometime? The song?
It's 19. When I sang Little Black Boy, yes, in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, 1990s. And I said a moment,
1997 to be exact, yeah.
right. I said a moment ago, that's what, 28 years ago. And I said
Yeah.
a moment ago that I don't know if it's got any better. It has probably got worse since then. You know what is happening in terms of criminal associations, gang associations, and so on. And I invited the man who you just gave a greeting to, Allan Ferguson of the
Yes.
Chicago Dealers Association. I heard Mr. Ferguson for the first time. No, I remember exactly 5, 6 years ago when he started the journey with the association. It might have been before that, but when I heard him, it was around that time, and he struck me as somebody who is willing to say his piece and who vexed loss. And since then, he has continued along that line, fighting for people like the little black boy that you described, Gypsy. And
Yes.
and of course, he gives me a sense of not only an ability to fight for his people, but an ability to see into the future. His last comment I saw on television when he was looking at the ships, the derelict ships out in the
Yes. Yes.
somewhere, and he was making a proposal to acquire them and turn them into dollars and cents. And that struck me as a man who is a serious man. So what I have done is to ask both of you, and let me start with Mr. Ferguson, to give those people who are listening, and sometimes you hear people saying that, I start off in a bad way, and my mother and father didn't care. I remember seeing a young man outside Republic Bank one morning. He was 28 years old, and he was begging, looking good, and so on. And I said, well, why are you doing this? I didn't want to give him anything. He said his mother, he trying to help his mother. I said, no, no, his mother helping him. And my response, shit, you should be helping your mother at this stage of your life. And
Mhm.
he gave me some excuse. He went to school, he didn't do this, and so on and so on. So, what I'm doing is to ask, I don't know anything about Mr. Ferguson's background, um, but I am sure that he has an interesting one he will tell us about. So, Alan, I can call you Alan, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Alan, give our listeners an appreciation of where you started. And I am sure that it wasn't in finery and all of that. So and you do that to give young people an opportunity to understand that it's not so much where they start, but it's where they get to. You go ahead, Alan.
Well, first, I want to thank you and your program to having me here to give my side of the story. Because, sometimes people see people cropping up and it's all kind of different cloud they put on them, But I was born in St. Madeleine, using St. Madeleine. That's close to the sugar factory. I was just running distance away from the sugar factory. I born
That was in Pitimon settlement.
yeah, I born St. Martin, number 22 Bellevue Street, St. Martin, just
No, you're
before the
not.
new police station.
Okay, okay. I will tell you about me and Bellevue in a moment. But go ahead. I don't want to disrupt your story.
Yeah, so I born in that village there. My mother had four boys and three girls. I'm the second to last. When I was small, based on when I was growing up, they say I would have been the most, I would have got what this, But I prove all of them wrong now, because the police never hold me for stealing anything or doing any wrong thing. They don't know. So I'm here to tell them I never get caught by the police for anything that I would do wrong. I grew up my life. Once I was growing up, my mother died when I was 12 years. And when my mother died, I was waiting on the commemorations result. So my brother, who was the oldest of all of us, whilst I was waiting on the commemorations result, he came up to a village in Central, in Kelly village, next close to the airport. So I was living with my brother. But the result come out for the commemorations, and I had was to make my way back down to South to live with my father and my stepmother. I went to school in Prince Urban Street, St. Kevin's College in Sando, right just behind the St. Martin, the Sando Market. I went to school there for 3 years because I leave school in Form 3. I didn't finish school, but I was not bad for that school because I was the school prefect and the class prefect. So they could know I was a good guy in the school because to get the two posts, the prefect of the school and the prefect of the class, meaning that I was something that everybody in the school was looking at. I just tell my father I want to stop and go and learn a trade. But same time my father, we was living Bamboo Junction, we leave and we went Miaro. So I was living Miaro, Peter Hill in Miaro with my father and my stepmother.
So you have a link with Gypsy there then. Both of them
Yeah,
from
well,
away.
yeah, you know that. I used to let Peter. I used to let Peter live in Miaro because I give him the story. So I grew up a little bit in Miaro and I learned my trade in Miaro. But something happened and run me from Miaro. You know, long time you want to learn because it's not like how now was. So I leave my home in the evening time and I went by the block and I was not really by a block, by somebody's house. And I was in the center of I sat down with two guys. I was in the middle. But them was smoking and I wasn't smoking because I never was a smoker. But they passed the weed in front of me. And somebody see and go on and tell my stepmother. She didn't find out nothing. She tell my father how I was smoking. And I get real licks. First time in my life I get licks from my father. And I leave and I leave after because I say I get licks for nothing because I not no smoke and thing. And I leave and come and stay by my sister in Shogunas. And the days where I move on, after I get a boxing glove from a friend, an Indian guy who see me as a potential person. And I went to Youth Center where Claude Noel, David Noel, and Tyrone Downs and all the top boxers was boxing. I trained for a year before they put me in the ring. I lost my first 4 fights and I didn't give up. And when I do start to win, it was like winning, no matter where else in the world I go. I went to Martinique, I went to Barbados, I went to all over, and I win all the fights. And it was building up to the Olympics. I was going good because when I was going to
What weight you were fighting at?
I was fighting at the middleweight, 156 pound middleweight. So I was the champion, the national champion of Trinidad. And then I was working hard to get the qualification to go to the Olympics. Because at that time when I win the national championship it had a guy from England. His father and mother, the mother was a Trinidadian. And he came to win the championship also to try to get to go and qualify to the Olympics. and me and he was in the final, and he was knocking out everybody in the first rounds. So when me and him meet, they think that he would have tried to do the same thing, but it didn't happen that way. It happened that I ended up knocking him out, and he sprawled out on the ground. So that was a big contest. I mean, a big fight, because he knocked out everybody in the first round, and he came to me and knocked him out in the third rounds. Early part of the third round, I knocked him out. And that was something big for me. When I win this national championship now, and I see my face on the papers, I see that I'm going up here now and show my father the national champion. When I get the message now in the morning, I get up, my father dead. I can't go me around and I told him to a funeral because my father dead. When I came in national championship, I said I'm going to show my father everything, because them days you don't know phone and things to me call and all them sort of thing. So I had to make my journey up to Niagara with that bus. But somebody gave me the message. I think what my sister said, that somebody going to see and tell she, oh, my father dead. That was one of my saddest moments in my life too, but that never stopped me from moving on. I try, after that it was just sadness, but my father leave a little bit of money for I was to start mean for me and my sister and my two other sisters and me. We get some money. I open a small shop in Kelly Village. I end up moving on from that shop and went and opened other things. I try all kind of things. I just want to try to speed up a little thing, but um, and then I love security business. I open my security company. I get a lot of work. A lot of things happen. But before that, I opened a lot of other things that it didn't make it. I failed. But I didn't stop. But at the meantime, I was continue doing things that I knew I will able to succeed one day. I tried orange. I tried selling papers. I wash down vehicles. I cut people land. I do all type of things. Every single thing that to make me make a little dollar. And then, well, in the gym, it had a secretary. I went to she and tell she, I like you and I want to marry to you. And it was like shocking for she. And that gave me my wife.
So Allan, you wasn't courting or anything. You just go and tell the lady that.
No, well, I will tell you something. I didn't want to bring it up, but I had to bring it up now. My partner, who had a wife, was tackling she, and I begged him to leave she alone and give me she now, because I didn't have no girlfriend nothing. And he said, well, all right, I will leave she for you. And I went and talked to she, and then the next day I went back and tell she I want to marry to she, and I carried she out this Saturday, and then we get ourselves involved and we married. And I think we married for 32 years, and just last year my wife died. We lived 30 something years together. We had 5 children together. So the story started getting away. When I opened my business, she was like, we was sucking. Sometimes, we help Trinidad, they say, you suck salt with this woman, you do all type of thing. It didn't work out, but, when she was sick, I did do all the things, I carry her to the best nurse hospital. I mean, I pay a lot of money to make sure that she could get better. We do everything to try to she to get better, but you know how it is in Trinidad. At that time, I tell them I taking my wife to Cuba, but they say I will not have the time because the sickness will have caused. So I try all out, to protect my wife, because she is the foundation of my business too. But that's that story with she dying, and I had to continue. But my business that I have is my two sons and my daughter. I am just the person guiding them really. I'm not even a director in the company. But my children is one that who listen to me. My children, all of them, five of them, I mean five and four of them married, and but they still live by me. Everybody have the quarters by me. I kind of keep our family together. I tell them, the land that we have, we build houses, and all of us will live together. So that me as a family man, strong family man. So anybody who wants to know, I'm a very strong family. I believe in. If I have a problem, I think we could solve it by ourselves. In 2011, the industry, the UNC government shut down the scrap industry.
So, Allan, we're going to come back to that part
Yeah.
later on when we talk about that. But what I get from what you've said is that you're a man who attempted every possible thing that could happen, a parlor, doing all kinds of work and so on, in order to survive. And you didn't allow anything to put you down. Yes?
Yes, 100%.
All right. And you're also a man who could take care of yourself. So you must still have some of those boxing skills lying down somewhere.
Right underneath, I have a gym downstairs.
All right, let's go to Winston Peters now. Everybody knows him as Gypsy, and Gypsy is a man from the country, from down Mayaro way, deep south of the country. And we know Gypsy has said it on a number of occasions. His movement to where he is today didn't come easy and did not come smoothly. Go ahead, Gypsy.
Hi, Tony. Tony, first of all, let me say that Allan is one of my favorite people. I like Allan. I like Allan because I like his drive. And I like Allan because Allan, like my good self, should be an inspiration to a lot of black people in this country, especially young black people who needs an avenue, who really want an avenue, or who need some guidance in terms of getting to where they want to get. And also to show them that nothing that you do honestly is too much, too degrading, or too hard to do to achieve what you want to do. What is degrading and what is the worst thing to do is to be stealing people's stuff and to be getting yourself involved in nefarious activities that would actually bring not only yourself and your family, but little do you know when you're doing these things, it brings your whole race into odium. It brings it apart from you and your family, it brings a whole race, because when people are talking, they're going to say, look at those black people. The same way I feel proud to look at Allan and from where he came from, and myself from where we both came from. I a little different to Allan. My channels were different, and I don't think that I had it as hard as him. I always had people look after me. But just to say that we have some similar background. I was born in Miaro. He lived in Miaro, and I guess something has to do with that little Miaro upbringing that will help you to succeed. And the time that we were born was a different time to now. And each one helped one in one way or the other, whether they know they were helping you, whether they were doing it deliberately or indirectly, somehow or the other you were being helped by your community. And for that, I like Allan. I love him. I think he's a great guy. I think he's one of the best people that we have in this country in terms of getting to young black people and showing them the way to get along. As for me, I was born basically right where I'm sitting now. I am in Miaro. I'm talking to you from Miaro. I have a home in Miaro, and I do have another home as well. But I spend most of my time in Miaro because I tell people all the time, I love Trinidad, but I'm in love with Miaro. I love this place. I mean, I really and truly love this place because this place make me who I am. Anything that I am, all that I've become in this life, and God knows I've become quite a bit. Miaro made me that, so I am in love with this place. So I'm at my home in Miaro now talking to you. But having said all of that, I did a whole lot of things like most young boys in Miaro would have done. But I used to be doing it, and while I was doing the things that I was doing, selling bottle, catching fish, picking up coconuts, and all these kind of things, I wasn't doing it helter-skelter at all. I always wanted to go to Hollywood, and I wanted to go to England. Those were the two places in my life that I wanted to go. I guess maybe since I know myself, and thank God I've been to all these places many times. I've lived there in both of them. So I'm saying that I have lived my dream. But where I didn't have it that hard. I had a village raised me really. I had my grandparents. I wasn't really raised with my mother and father, even though they were there. They really weren't responsible for my upbringing per se. The same people that were responsible for my upbringing were responsible for theirs. So they weren't really responsible for me. My grandparents, my adopted grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, and the whole village, Miaro, they were responsible for who I am today. And I don't know if I can chronicle and detail my life like Allan did his, because my life is really a jigsaw puzzle. You understand what I'm saying? I lived all over the world. I lived in Canada. I lived in England. I lived in New York. I spent most of my time, I spent 38 years there. And I just lived all over the place. I lived in the Virgin Islands. I'm just a gypsy, and I lived up to that, and I'm happy. Whoever called me that know exactly what they were looking at, and and call me whatever they call me, and maybe I lived up to it. So I guess so. My struggles weren't as Allan. I didn't have to struggle too much because God gave me a talent which I started using when I was 4 years old. And since I started using my talent have been good to me. The first day I stepped on a stage, I won the competition that I went there to win, which was the Miaro, I guess was baby car competition. I don't know because I was 4 years old, and I won it. And since then, I've been winning everything that I attempted to do. I went to high school. I went to college. I dropped out of university because I think it was wasting my time. When I lecture to children, I tell them, don't do as I do, but I have to tell them my story. I'm a university dropout because it made no sense to me. You understand? Because most young black people go to school to learn how to get a job. Not like what Allan and myself did. I utilize my talent or whatever it is to become a businessman because I understand that profit is better than a salary. And I learned all these things at an early age. So I was fortunate in what I did and what I continue to do up to this day. I just came from my mill and field. You understand? I was always involved in agriculture because that's what my grandparents did. Miaro people were people who liked the land. They liked planting and stuff. And I don't know, somehow or the other, all the black people in Miaro who had land today, they don't have any. Well, not that they don't have any, they're dead. And the young people that they left behind, I don't know what the hell they did with the land, but most of them just don't have any. And all the land is given to people of different races, not black people. Black people are behind the eight ball in terms of their land, right here in Miaro. All the places that used to be black people today is owned by somebody else. They might be black, but they don't look like us. They're not the same kind of black people. So I'm saying to
Gypsy,
you
what,
that
what do you think is responsible for that? If you're talking about a group of people who had material wealth and suddenly their children and grandchildren don't have it.
what is responsible for that is irresponsibility. Irresponsibility is responsible for exactly what happened there. Because when people have things, or you're not, or you don't feel that you're responsible for your own success. There are people in Trinidad and Tobago today, young black people. And when I say young black people, I don't mean Indian or anything. I'm talking about young African people. So I want this to be totally clear because young Indian people, even though they are black, Indian people are black people too. When I speak about black people in a general sense, I speak about both Indians and African. But in this case, I'm very specific as to who I'm speaking about because young Indian people have a different kind of leaning and they have a different kind of petition to lean on than we do because we have broken down our petition really. So our young people today don't have anything to lean on. They still have people like Allan and maybe myself and a few others. I used to say that they have Dupree and stuff to lean on, but look at what happened today. Even a conglomerate like Dupree, like Clico, the largest black conglomerate in the Caribbean. It is dissolved basically, and in no small part by black people themselves. So I am trying to say to you that something is wrong with us as black people in this country, and irresponsibility is responsible for it.
Right. So you grew up not in in any kind of poverty way. But nevertheless, you had to move from where you were born, where you grew up, and so on, to achieve more. What drove you?
Well, what I was involved in and what I wanted to achieve, it wasn't achievable in Mayaro or maybe not even in Trinidad. I wanted to become a singer because my mother was a very, very good singer. My mother played the guitar and sing. My mother was a singer, actually. My father had a pretty good voice, but he was never a professional singer in any way. My mother was. And the thing about it is that I wanted to be a singer. That's all I ever wanted to be. I never wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer, a preacher. Well, somehow I said that one day I will become a preacher. But after I looked at the history of what Christianity is all about, I kind of divorced myself from it, especially the way it exists today. But it was at one point in time one of my ambition after I accomplished all the things that I set out to accomplish, which I have accomplished. I'm a very accomplished person in terms of what I set out to accomplish. I'm a successful business person. I'm a successful singer. I'm a successful politician. All these things I did in my life, and success came my way through all of them. So I can't say that I have ever really seen trouble. I never went hungry. I never had to fish for anything to eat because, like I say in Miaro, I am related to most everybody in Miaro. As strange as that might sound, I'm related to probably 75% of the people in Miaro, especially in the village called Ottawa, which is my perennial home. That's where I was born. That's where my grandparents, my great grandparents, my mother. Well, no, my mother is from Rio Claro and my father is from Ottawa, Miaro. My father is Woodford Mentor. I was born Winston Mentor. Somewhere along the line, they changed my name. So the thing about it is that I have accomplished what I set out to accomplish. So I am not in the same thing. But that doesn't mean that I am divorced of or devoid of the knowledge of who I am or where I came from and how I got to where I am today.
Okay. So just to inform our listeners, we're talking about people moving from where they started off in life and moving to a better place. It's an ambition that we all have in one way or the other. And we're talking with two persons who have made their lives into something that can be appreciated by and has been appreciated by the national and parts of the international community. Winston Peters, better known as Gypsy in the Calypso world, and Allan Ferguson, who has come forward in a significant kind of way in terms of people who are sometimes on the breadline. I've heard him talk about people who have little to go by, and I know he's dedicated and devoted to fighting those battles. Let me ask Allan why this intense desire to assist people to move from where they are on the margins of society.
Well, when I think about myself, it is trying to make me understand that there's have a lot of people with they had to grow up like me and will have to face the same kind of problems I have in my life. And they might not have the patience that I have and the understanding that I have. Um, what will have happened to me? I will have come out from a certain era where when we care about one another still. Now, why some people don't care about some people, that have people still that care about people, but majority of the people to me, I don't think, because when you watch sometimes as neighbors and you see sometimes what going with the rubbish because you see a lot of food being thrown away by neighbors and sometimes your neighbor hungry. I watch all of that. I watch sometimes you could make a little help and young people you could talk to them and say, even self, make an attempt to tell them, listen to me. Let me stay away from this crime, let me don't do that, let me don't do this, let me try to concentrate, have some patience. I could have been like you, but I didn't study, I didn't do that because opportunity come for me to do a lot of different things. And I didn't do it because I didn't want to go in jail. And I don't feel that jail is a wrong thing for me. So what I did, I said, see, why to get away from certain things, I get myself involved in sports. And when I get myself involved in sports, I didn't have time to drink to go party and do all kind of things. Once I didn't have no problem with nobody going party and doing all kind of things, but I learned how to sacrifice to be something. And my dedication and humbleness come from being a boxer. Because when you're a boxer, you can do a lot of things. So I learned alone, and then my coach, I will learn a lot of things from my coach because he knew I didn't have no mother and father. So he was like my father still today. And I always, that's why I I I go out and try to help people who look like me because I understand they need help. Some people in society will believe that they need help, because some people believe that leave them, let them get killed, let them go in jail, let them all kind of thing. But if you leave them alone, the place will get more worse, We weren't able to live because if all of them decided to go as how some of them going, we gonna run into a lot of problems. And that is why I decided to put my resources in trying to help my people. And today, no matter, it's like, sometimes you're going forward, and when you go forward, sometimes you have to step back, 2 foot backwards. But my life, since I started, my life changed. Some people want to know how my life changed. When I used to sleep from 10 o'clock until sometimes 6 or 7 o'clock, I can't sleep so long again. I just had to get up 3 o'clock. Why I had to get up 3 o'clock? I just had to get up 3 o'clock to pray and beg my God to help me in my things that I doing to help people. I doesn't say my people like black people, I say poor people to my Lord. Because sometimes when you watch it, it is all type of people suffering in this society. So my thing is to help. And my thing is that I believe that when I die, my money can help me. It's only when I alive my money could help me. Because I believe is when you do good now is when you'll get to go to paradise. Some people want to know why, but I believe that doing good now will give you a good name, your family a good name, and everything a good name. And that's why I have a grocery and I have a car business also, no matter with the scrapyards. But the thing about it is that I try to help. I make all the effort that I could do. And sometimes Gypsy speak in such a way just now. Let me tell you something. When I give in charity, I give in hampers and things by my grocery. The line is be from here to you can't see which part it is. You've been getting when my groceries are big groceries. You think that is the type of kind of line in the grocery? The same people around the place here will us come for hamper and food stuff. Sometimes when we giving away thousands of people, we giving away things too. You think it's thousands of people coming in the grocery? Thousands of people, the same set of people, right around, doesn't come up. But you know what I say? I'm doing it for my Lord. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it because I want to be a good person. I'm doing it because I believe that when I do good, I will get to go to paradise. That is what my belief is. My belief is not because I'm stupid. My belief is not because I have something wrong with my head. My belief is because I believe once I do good. Because I didn't get to get a university, all these university things, I didn't get all these passes and things to get what I want. I pray and God help me out. So I know is that I have to continue doing good to get continue blessings. Because more I do is more I get. So my way in life is doing good is trying to help my people and help other people if they need help too. You understand? So that's my thing, keep on helping, keep on fighting for the right things. And you know what is one thing, because they quick to say, when you're doing this, you have some cocoa, you some, but I beg them, I put it on the radio, I tell them, get one thing that they could say that the law have on me. That's one. Because let me tell you something. I build all type of things. People come to sell me all kind of stolen stuff. None of them could say I buy. None. They could come and say I have. Let me tell you something. I have cars and cars. Not one of them could say I buy no stolen car. You know why? Because I had to check it out before I buy. They're not coming to sell me because you feel like buying and come to sell me something that you could still set me up. And when the police come, I get my bad name and say, hey, he buying stolen people. I would never do that. and I would never buy a mango from somebody who went and steal it. You know why? Because the moment you do that, the person will say, he buy mango, he buy stolen stuff. I do take part in them things. And not one person in my community could say I doing that. You know why? I tell them, if you want a car as a young person, work hard for it, save your money and work hard for it. If you want a house, build a house, work hard for it, build your house. Build your house and do good. And when you start to do that thing, you will see how things will work out for you. You can't want because you want a car, want to steal a car. If you want a house, you have to go and be robbing people, keep it, doing all kind of things to want to build a house. My thing is to tell them these kind of things. And I tell them, look, if you want to see some things, look at me. Look at me and other people too. Look at people who look like me who do the right thing. Don't look at the people who doing the wrong thing because they are the people and them were robbing and thieving and killing. Being has successful, so they could watch at them, but I tell them don't do it in that way. What else people in society want to understand? What it is they want to understand that let me tell you something. There are some people helping people still. There are good people in this country, plenty. I could tell you, Gypsy is one of them too. I am telling you, I could tell you. You see, some people have got some people. Everybody have a different way to help people. Everybody have some way different. My way, my wife, oh gosh, well, um, you go give her the grocery, you go give her it, you go strain, you go one kind of problem. You understand? But my thing is to do good and be honest. And my industry, I am fighting an industry that a lot of people would be in this industry from a lot of poor communities, and that's why they have a kind of a stigma. And I trying to bring it out of that to show them, listen to me, we could take this industry because I travel all over the world. I travel all over the world and I understand it. I get all kind of real treatment. So I could tell them, I said, listen to me, if we take this industry and take it in the way that Trinidad will appreciate it and the scrap industry, when you go China, you go Singapore, and a piece of paper fall or something fall, they pick it up, somebody behind somebody to pick it up and put it in a bag because that will bring them $1 when the day come. And when you watch, when we start up, when I start up this presidency, doing the scrap business, we used to take days to pull a container. Days. You know how long we taking to pull a container now? 15 minutes because the equipment to pull a container. No, because we what we did, we joined up with people from a recycling conference, I mean recycling company all over the world. They have members from all over the world. When we go to these places, we meet them, we talk to them, we see different equipment, we see different things. All these things we have in our proposal. I mean, it's not easy, but sometimes it is cry. Sometimes I sit down and I stand up and I cry because sometimes why I had to make this mention, and I really appreciate if you could give me 1 more minute to just
Go
mention
ahead, man. Go ahead.
what would have happened to me sometimes. People out at Trinidad and Tobago value the understand we have in recycling business, understand what we have, and they see the value. When we talk, they say we shall be the leaders of this region. But you know something? My own country, sometimes when I go to talk to the people in charge, they doesn't want to listen. And that's why we face the problem that we face. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. But it doesn't stop me from keep on going. Because I tell you, the longest road have an end. As long as you continue trying, brothers and sisters, no matter what problem you're in, the longest road have an end. And if you have patience and you have that endurance and stay away from stealing and thieving, you will get the victory. Because you see, the success doesn't meet all the time for the people who go fail and come back because you go fail and you come back and you try to thief, you try to do something wrong and police will lock you up, you will end up in jail. But if you keep that strongness and that strongness, because in the community, I live in the enterprise community. I could afford a house in Balsay. I could afford a house with rich people live in. But my house, I center the place with a grocery. my part is everybody see. I mean, I stay in the community. Me move out, you know. Me move out the community. I stay in the community. You know why? Because I want my people to understand, and I just keep on telling them that this this what I doing is not for me. It's for me to see, all of you all to see that my mother died when I was 12. My father died a year or 2 years after. But it never tell me that I will go and rob or steal or do anything to end up in jail. The only thing I steal is mango. And you know how I steal a mango? You know how I steal a mango? Because all the mango falling on the ground and she ain't getting nobody. She alone living in the place, the mango on the ground spoiling. Me and my friends be hungry them days. My mother go for 3 days. She ain't coming back yet. All I have is in a pot is bun. And you know what I could do? Sometimes when I look in the shelf, my sister and all of you, sometimes all I could do in the shelf is see if I get some flour and some sweet and some sugar and mix it up with water and throw it in a pot and make sweet bake. That's what I eat. That's what I eat. Sweet bake for days. I suck mango. I eat cane because I suck cane because that is it for days. Because my mother gone looking for a little money walking and staying in people home, and we have nothing to eat home, and that's why I have to eat. So now when my son say, hey, daddy, I want this and daddy, I want that, he getting all of that. When he going a toy mart, when he going toy mart, and nothing here we have, that never happened to me. I push box cat, I ride scooter, I do all them things, I never have toys. My mother and father didn't no money to buy toys for me. But I understand now we're different. But I want to give my friend Gypsy more to talk about because I have a piece that I don't want to put. I don't want people to cry about it. They just like to give me tell me when is I have the final time so I could put people to let them know that after sorrow, after
Well,
night.
you know what? You could talk to Gypsy and leave me out of the talk, but while you're chatting, go
Yeah,
ahead, man. Talk to
well,
you,
no,
man.
well, you see,
I,
we
I don't I don't mind I don't mind listening to Alan all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Alan spoke like a son and give me a little chuckle, you know, because I don't know of any little country boy who never stole mangoes. Okay, I still remember a man in Mayaro named Willie
Gypsy,
Kane.
Gypsy, even tomboys like me, thief mangoes.
yeah,
But
I
that's as far as the stealing went though. Just to take the
eh,
two mangoes and a piece of cane, and that
yeah.
was good.
Yeah. Sometimes you go in the cane field, and when you go in the cane field, because it's not too far from his father living at the cane field. When you go there and you go and break some cane, what the long time I cane police, you know.
Cane police.
Yeah, they coming at you, and
But you
sometimes you have
see,
to stand up like you.
your cane days was different to mine because we never had in Miaro, we didn't have the cane industry close by. What we
Oh,
had was people planting ribbon cane and bourbon cane.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and those were real soft, nice cane. And as little fellas, when you want cane, and in those days, people never used to really do you anything for that, you know. You go and you get a piece of cane, but it was nonetheless stealing. And if your grandparents or your parents caught you, you're going to get your tail well cut. But
yeah,
because they say you need to take a little thing like that, little things lead to big things, and next thing
yeah,
you go and people think. So, but
yeah,
all little boy in all little country boy steep cane and mango man. That was something you do. I mean, it was like a right away a passage to manhood or something.
yes. And it's so nice. It was so nice, long time, and that is why the people sometimes they need to use the people who have the still understanding about familyhood and love in their heart for people. And that's why I just try to tell them, use the people. It's not everybody who who they think is from the community is community leader person and it's frightful to use them and all. They have good people in community. I tell you, just go to a real community. I'm telling you, if they put something in place to start to work in them communities, have people honest, you know. But we living in a society And I must have to touch on
Alan,
it.
I want to ask you where you got that spirit from. You talk about helping people. You yourself needed help when you were young, and so on. You talked about deprivations on a daily basis. Um, where did you get that spirit from that you should go out there? You talked about several things here: your grocery, your giving, etc., etc. You help. I've heard you on television talk about workers, some of them outside of jail. They have come from prison for one reason or the other, and you are barging in there to assist where you can. Where you got that spirit from?
Well, one of the things before I had all this business that I had, I used to go around community to community, just me and about three persons. My goal, I didn't in a position where I is now, but I used to go about warning the youth to stay away from crime, and I used to tell them it have the Chinese association, it have the Hindu association, it have all kind of association, but we don't really, we people look like we don't have no association, so that's why we scatter all over the place and we not cooperated. We don't look out for one another. And I used to give them that kind of talk and I used to tell them about God because when I was small, they used to call me pastime. They used to call me priest because I used to go around all 12, 15 years and because I love church long time, I'm a real church man. So I love talking to people. But I used to go around, leave my family on a Sunday after 2 o'clock. So I used to go around until about all after five communities, different communities, and telling the youth and them that they have a God. And if we want to invest, we could invest in God because God is the one that gave you everything. Because when I look at myself and up to today, as I tell you, I didn't leave school with nothing. I didn't leave school. I had me finished. I didn't finish school, and I don't shame to tell nobody. I didn't finish school, but when I was around, it has certain people that advising me. They say, listen to me. They had a man they called Amar. He was the biggest scammer in Trinidad. He didn't. He wasn't. He was no have no qualification and big things, but he had businesses, and it had other people to explain it to me. And I take up that challenge to not to say because I don't have this and I don't have subject and I don't have this and I don't have all the qualifications that they can't keep me out of doing things. I never work URP. I never work for the government. Not one day I work for the government. I never make one day work for the government to say that I had to wait for a 10 days work or a CPEP or something. I never do that. I always try to get myself in something that I could sell to get back some change, or I could have wash vehicles real good or do something. I Gypsy, care what happened
Yeah,
to me? Sando High Street, the bottom of High Street. I
of
had
course.
six. I had $6. Six.
Hmm.
When I know I could be a good businessman, I had $6 that I washed down two cars. They're $3 a piece, and I went Sando. I walked from St. Martin and reached in Sando,
Wow.
and I went to the bottom and I buy express, then the express paper, and I get about 30 something or a little more than that for the money for the $6. I go up High Street by the middle and I sell it out. I run back down, buy back more papers, run back down. I sat probably about the Tuesday. When it was about the Friday, you know how much papers I was buying with that money? Thousands of papers I was buying. Thousand.
Of course, of course.
That's when I understand that something in me that I could do something good and I take it from there. That's when I take it. That is when I take my life. But
Let me let
Business.
me let me ask Gypsy.
Yes.
After you sung Little Black Boy,
Yeah.
what kind of reaction, if any, you got in terms
But
of
some
you know
real. I have a lot of clippings from the papers that is still there. That is so negative. People say I don't like black people.
yeah.
They say that I hate black people because how I will sing a song like that. It's not only black people that is being this. It's not only black people that is being trouble. So I got a lot of negative comments and stuff. But I know that what I was saying was something that was resonating with the right people in the right place. So I really wasn't taking on them and their negative because what I was doing was nothing negative. It was trying to get my people in a kind of line that they would head in a direction that would be progressive to all of us. Because, like I said, when one black man or one black child or one black business fail, it is not just that black business or that family that has failed. It is all of us. And I recognized that a long time ago. Little Black Boy is not the only black songs about young or black people and things that I've sung. I have dedicated my adult life to doing that. So if you listen to the songs that I sing, I talk through my songs. That is the talent that God gave me to talk through, and I have spoken through my songs. A lot of my songs are based on trying to get little black people to do something positive. I once had a show that used to go to all the schools in Trinidad and Tobago to try to, through my songs, to tell them what they should do. So it's a lot of things that I've done through my songs. Not just Little Black Boy, plenty more. If you listen to my repertoire, you're going to hear a lot of songs that has to do with black consciousness. Because that is what I live for.
So
I help a
Charles,
lot of black people too.
so Charles, let me take a small break. Talk about how listeners can get in touch with the station, where they can listen to, and even if they want to call in at this point in time, let them call in and talk with Allan Ferguson and Winston Gypsy Peters. Over to you, Sir Charles.
So just before I do that, let me play you one of my all-time favorite songs from the Gypsy.
Come on, come on, come on. It blowing me mind, it chilling me spine. To wake up and find Africans in this land on the decline. Some might tell me no, cost me so and so. Bring reason to show, and then tell me that it is so. But you don't have to take glasses to see that things are not what they used to be. This rose-colored glasses that we are looking through are no good to me and you. While the Indians control the business and land, the Syrians control the money. Africans used to control strength and politics. Today we ain't control any. The Chinaman come from where he come from. Restaurant business is his domain. So Africans, look, it's time to pick yourself up and control something again. Oh yeah. I'm not out of place, just stating my case. I'm not talking race, but Africans, you better make haste. The longer we wait and procrastinate and degenerate, complacency will seal we fate. But decline is not irreversible. We could get back on top of the table. It will take great effort from all of us, cause success is not spontaneous. While the Indians control the business and land, Syrians control the money. Africans used to control strength and politics. Today, we ain't control any. The Chinaman come from where he come from. Restaurant business is his domain. So Africans, man, it's time to pick yourself up and control something again. Here's my plea.
All right, everybody, and of course, as we welcome you back, of course, this is the Drive Time Exchange, and you are listening to New Era TT Radio, and we're happy to be here with you. Of course, the Drive Time is being controlled by none other than Mr. Tony Fraser himself, and it's if you are looking for us, people, remember we are internet-based radio. So you have to go and look for us on stream, right? You wouldn't get us on your normal FM band, what they call terrestrial radio these days. So we are streaming at newerattradio.com. That's our website. You can also get us there on TuneIn. You can pick us up also on all the the social media channels such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We are on all of them. And we stream our morning show on M&E TV, which is between 6 and 8 o'clock. And you can get that on all the cable channels. So whether you're on Flow, Amplia, Tricore, all of those internet channels, you can get us there on a morning period, right? Other than that, you can stream with us all through the day on New Era TT Radio. Put it in your browser, you'll find us. And for all the folks with their smart devices, Alexa and all those other devices, you can get us on TuneIn. So that is where we are at, and it's a real pleasure for me to be here sitting and listening to these two gentlemen this afternoon, Tony. Yeah, because
very informative, very encouraging.
Yeah, and two gentlemen that I know very well, you know. I know Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson, let me say good afternoon and welcome you to this platform. You know, and also to the Gypsy himself, you know, years in the music, years in the calypso, and you two gentlemen have really done well. You are a real inspiration, you know, listening to your stories and seeing that we have just embarked on this because we are just going on, well, we're in our third month now, and we are really making great strides. You know, people are tuning in, people are logging on, and we are happy for that. And I just want to let you guys know, you know, when you have your business, we are here to help you get your word out also now, right?
Okay, wonderful. And Sir Charles is a story by himself. One door closed somewhere, Power 102, and he opened a window right here. So he's doing his own thing in terms of sustaining himself and moving forward. Gypsy.
But Tony, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I'm here. Sir Charles is my friend, and I didn't know that. I didn't know where he was.
Right. Well, you don't know where he is.
So I'm happy to know. I'm happy to know where he's at, Charles.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate
Take care,
it.
my brother. Take care. A long time I haven't seen you, man.
That is so true. But we'll cross.
Gypsy, in the song, I want to ask you about something that you said in the song. It's not really the condition of Black people, especially young Black people, and other people. You know, I look at television, I look at who are in the professions and so on, and I see, and I am not racist against anybody. I am 6 or 1 and half a dozen of the other, so I cannot be racist against any one of them. As a Douglas, a long time Douglas. But so you said that the condition is not irreversible.
Yeah.
Condition. What has to be done?
Well, what has to be done is a lot of what we are doing here now. What we are doing, these are contributory elements of what we are supposed to be doing, and these things go a long way. I mean, if you save one person, you save plenty, you know. And these are the things that we have to do. And songs like that one that was just played there, one of my songs. And I want to tell you that any song you hear me sing, I wrote it. So it means that that's my own consciousness that comes out of my song. I'm not espousing somebody else's thoughts or their brain wave or anything like that. That's me. That's what in me. That's how I speak. That's how I write, and that's what I think. So I'm saying that when you do these kind of things and you play these kind of songs, it goes a long way in helping. You know, it may not reach everybody, but somewhere along the line it's going to reach somebody. And that somebody that it reach might be a person who needs transforming in one way or the other, and that song might help, in the transformative um, process. And so we got to keep on doing these things. Any little bit counts. And that's why I sing the type of songs that I sing. I sing those songs so that it would help my people. Because you'll be surprised to know that we have a responsibility as singers. The same way you could encourage people to whine and wear almost nothing in the street is the same way you could encourage them to put on clothes. And you could encourage black women to have a better behavior than they would have normally when other kind of songs are played. But maybe they need to hear it. But who is doing it? Are we believing that these things are significant enough to do to help in the transformation? How did we get to where we are? It is because of the things that we do. So how do we get out of what we are into and get back to what we believe, or what the majority of people not only believe but know is a more responsible way of life? Is to do the same thing in reverse, basically.
How do you respond to when people say all this black talk is racist talk, and you shouldn't be talking this black talk in a multinational country like ours?
When these other people, right, have the other avenues where they can go and talk, we don't have them. The organizations, with the organization that exists in the Chinese organization, the Hindu organization, there is nothing for us. African organization is what it is. Africa, one of them, every emancipation day coming out and saying something. I mean, albeit that they're saying something positive in at that time. But what is happening after that? What goes on there? Do we have a forum by which we can go? Like I go to my mandir every Saturday, or I go to my mosque every 2 days, or whatever, to keep my culture. Our culture is already taken away from us. What they have perpetuated in us is not us. That is not us at all. We really have nothing. We read from a Bible that is not. I mean, when I say this, people will get vexed, but to hell with it, they get vexed because they have a lot of lies in it. It's a lie in the first place that has transformed your what is the truth into a bunch of lie. And I hear black people themselves saying, but what difference it make if Jesus is a black man or a white man? Of course it makes a difference, because people have something called pride in place. If they didn't, then they would not have taken a person from Africa, which is now, they changed it, not even Africa, from Alkebulan, and change it into something called the Middle East, and say he was a Middle Eastern person. And then you take that Middle Eastern person that had no white blood around him at all and turn him into a white man. There's a reason for doing that. And the reason for doing that is to have pride in place and to make you know that this is superior to that, when in fact you feeling inferior to something that you are superior to. So I have a different brainwave. My brainwave is black. I'm a black person, and I love everybody in the world. My great grandfather is a white man, white as chalk. His name is George Steele. He's from Scotland. I have a white great grandfather, but that don't make him any different. You're a slave master. He enslaved my great grandmother in one way or the other. You understand what I'm trying to say? And what comes out of that is us. And how do we get back in there? We must have pride in place, just like everybody else. Have you looked at the difference in Indian Arrival Day and Emancipation Day? Have you ever seen what it is? I just look at the Indian Arrival Day program on TV, right? And what I saw there is a consciousness of self transporting you back into where you come from, just like me. But do we do that? The fact remains is no. We look for money on Emancipation Day to put on some sort of thing somewhere about the place, and we prefer to even call it the African Emancipation Day. But there is nothing wrong with calling Indian Arrival Day. That day was called Arrival Day at one point in time. But then the consciousness of whatever happened there transformed that day into Indian arrival day, and I have nothing against it. But what is wrong with African Emancipation Day? That some of the very people who supposed to be conscious, and I could say Kafra Kamban because I hear him talk against it and say that shouldn't be. I like him. He's a person that I stood side by side with as a friend. But the fact remains is that when people expose that kind of things around me, it gives me a different way of thinking. You understand what I'm saying?
I want
The
to
thing
say,
about
Jack, I
it
want
is
to
a
say,
pride in place.
I want to come in, Gypsy.
Come
Yeah,
in.
come in, Allan. Come in. Come in.
Come in, Allan.
You see, I will tell you, this is very important for we to know. Gypsy, who look like me, we was the teachers, we was the doctors, we was,
You're
we was,
everything.
yeah, we was the shopkeepers, we was the people.
We
But
were more than that. We were the inventors of
let
most of every single thing that people use today on the face of this earth.
yeah. But you know what happened now?
Yes.
To look after one another. I live in next door to you, and I cook food. I come on, Gypsy, you want something? We cook so and so. We so come out and hard and tell you, if you want something, you say, yeah, keep some for me. We ain't doing that again. That is where it went wrong. We ain't doing that. We ain't love one another again. All we want to do now is to kill one another. We not even, listen to me, we not even, you will see a neighbor going down in a drain, we bursting back, going down in a drain, and you leave see, you leave them and go down in the drain. We don't care about one another again. If we care about one another, when we have businesses, we just support ourselves. You know what we do? I mean, I have no problem of supporting every other people because I don't have pinch of racialness in me. But my problem is we don't even support ourselves. How we want to get strong? We will remain weak because we don't like supporting ourselves. We will support every other people and we will support ourselves. And you know why?
Alan, I know why. You know why? That didn't come overnight. We were actually taught and trained to hate ourselves, you know. We are the only people in the world who were taught to hate ourselves. We were taught to hate everything that we do as devil thing and not good. Let's take, for instance, Calypso. We couldn't sing Calypso at certain time as little children. We could have to sing anything else. But that was a bad thing because that was the devil thing. You couldn't play a pan because playing pan was hooliganistic. Playing mass was a no-no because that was devil thing. You can't play that. But the washing machine, the traffic light, the motor car, the aeroplane that they're flying, nobody tell you that that is devil thing. But it's we created that too. I am just an African that was born in Trinidad. I am an Alki Bulan that was born in Trinidad. Just like the Indian man who is Indian, me and he born together in Trinidad. But if you see him coming down the road, you say, look at Indian man. If you see a Chinese who was born together with me here in Minaro coming down the road, you say, look at Chinese man. If you see a Syrian, me and him who was born together, grow together, you say, look at Syrian. When you see me, well, you know what to call me. Look, he's a nigger. Look, he's a black man. He's anything. But either African or Alkebulan person. Well, don't be Alkebulan. Because half of the people don't know the meaning of Alkebulan.
Gypsy, your colleague superior sang about that, right?
Of course.
If an Indian
Yes.
man.
Not only my colleague Superior is from up here too.
Yes,
Superior is from Rio Claro. So we all had a consciousness. I grew up with Superior and there too. I knew Superior mother, I know all of them. I know all of them. Superior mother was Miss Mabel. A lady who used to sell in market and stuff.
Allan, you were going on to say something. Continue.
No, as I go around in different communities, I try to remind us that everything we have was take away from us. We used to be the people who make nice sugar cake and all them sort of thing. We used to be people who used to make the nice bread in the oven outside. All of that turned to bakeries now and everything. When I do my study about how this thing turn around, and guys, why a lot of African involvement, a lot of crime, and we want to know why we get ourselves in this problem. And sometimes I just only want to say what we could do to help to remove these things back, bring it back. Because, and that is why I keep fighting for this industry, this scrap industry, because people want to know why. But this is the only remaining thing that poor people have, you know. This is the only thing. If I sell my product for $1, that dollar going down right down to the poor people, you know. Trickling down to the poor people. It's not coming to me alone. It's not all the money coming to me alone. It's going down to the poor people. The fellow who packing and taking out all the scrap in the beton, or in a Rima dump, or in Claxon dump, or Point Fortin dump, or Tobago dump. All these fellas gaining something out of this, and you want to know why I'm talking about it. It's because it's the only thing remain that we have, and I have to continue fighting.
Alan, give us our listeners a sense of what is involved in the industry. I mean, I have a notion that we, take iron and we sell it abroad and so on and so on, but I don't have a detailed knowledge of it. So give us an appreciation of that.
You see, look how a grocery have a grocery with one set of items. The scrap industry have one set of items. There's aluminum, there's copper, there's brass, there's stainless steel, there's radiator, there's batteries. Let me tell you, it goes on and on. And all these things we ship out of Trinidad and Tobago. Every single thing we see, like you go in some people 20% of the material that we ship out of Trinidad come from the dumps and them. So you could understand why some of these fellas making a nice little day, a nice day work and they working hard. You could understand that them wasn't the fellas that going and stealing copper line and all things, but they paying the penalty to not to be able to sell what they're gaining from the beach dam or steal it or the all the dams around Trinidad and Tobago. What I'm saying is that
When
we are
so when you collect, go through what is involved. When you meaning the people in the industry collect the materials that you talked about a moment ago, what happens thereafter? Go down the line of what happens.
when they collected the bring it to yards like mine and other people yards, they sell it because they had when we will have the equipment to deal with it in another way that we could pack it in containers and ship it out of Trinidad. So they bring it to our yard and they gain the money. They gain money by what they do. So they now will have a certain money. And this business is cash business. So you bring something to our yard, you get cash with. Or if you have a account, you get check with, you take your money or you take transfer or whatever it is. But they do that every single day. Every day they do it. So they know
Where does the material end up eventually? Where do the
it's
yards
not
sell it to?
it's not one place alone. It go to India, it go to Taiwan, it go to Japan, it go to China, it go to Turkey, it go to Pakistan, India. I mean Bangladesh. It go to all different. It's not one country in the world that all the material from Trinidad. And what
Alan,
makes
can I ask something? Would you
no problem.
is it safe to say that all these iron and whatever and other things that we ship, they are reshipped items? Because we don't make none of those things in Trinidad.
No, well,
Those are things that we clean up our country.
yes, yes, and you see the thing about it, and what the new minister said to me, and I must really appreciate what he said because he's a businessman and he understands. He said, why things that we getting right in Trinidad here to ship out to go to other places, why we have so much of problem to ship it out? Why so much of problem? If something was going on there, some stealing taking place, why it had to shut down a whole thing like this, a whole industry like this, with so thousands of people is employed? Because Gypsy, let me tell you something, and Mr. Fraser, let me say this to you. If, and some people don't like me to say it, but if you come out from jail tomorrow and you decided that you want to make change in your life, you could come in this industry and we not watching that you know come out of jail. And all we will tell you is let us work with you to make a change. And we just work. I could tell you because I have plenty of them work with me. Some of them are the wife now, they have a car, they have a vehicle, they have a house, and they never get back themselves in trouble. But when we tell them that, they must take the grandchild and that, but they work and they see because when you work with people who you see operating and want to make change, you stick making that change. No, you can't control everybody and try to change everybody. But if out of 20 people, you get 18, you get 15 people make change who come out of it, that is good. And this is
Make
what we need to
money.
concentrate on.
And it's a foreign exchange earner also, is it?
Oh gosh, oh God, I the next thing. Let me explain to you. The port at Point Lisas and Port at Spain Port, we used to export the most containers every single month. Every month. All of that gone because the industry cycling now. We trying to bring it back. So what I'm saying is that we bring in foreign exchange and what we doing to the country is that when some people take the stove, the fridge and throw it down the ravine and throw it in the bush and think we just want to clear it up and take it and bring it and throw it in a van and bring it to a yard to prepare it to ship it out. When you throw it down, when you want to down a whole car down a cliff, we going down there. We can make this climb down a cliff and bring it back in. Cut it up and bring it up. All of these things, the people in the industry does. So that is why when I see, and I'm going to say this now because I want to say people are going, I don't want the time to run out and be. There's a certain kind of people in this country. I was getting some information that they want to take over this industry. But when I come on the air and I start to make noise on it, like they pull back because they recognize that they have to deal with me and my men and them how we protest and all the thing. You know, that same group have $1 million equipment for the scrap industry. And I don't know who tell them to contact me after. And they contact me for me to buy these equipment that they have. So the information they get was very credible to know that they wanted to come into this business. And I don't know what it is went on that they decided to pull back. I am telling you the truth here to Trinidad and Tobago and people who is listening all over the world. I am telling you that certain group of people wanted to take because they had equipment which none of we didn't have. And they come after and ask me to buy the equipment. So
Tony,
I am telling you is that if go ahead.
no, no,
I am saying is that if we don't protect this industry,
Tony, I
yes,
just want
Gypsy,
to
I
say
hear you.
something. Alan, I want to say something to you. You know, self-hate is one of the worst thing in the world because, like I said before, we were taught to hate ourselves. That is what we were taught. We were given lessons in how to hate ourselves. And when we didn't want to, it was forced on us. I want to just give you one example of something that happened right here in Miaro when I was a child, right? When I was a child, there was a lady in Miaro named Miss Eva. She was what Kiss is to this country today. She was to Miaro, Rio Claro, and Manzanilla and stuff, right? She had a bakery and she used to bake. And on mornings very early, she had a little van and she would go and distribute it to the little parlors. And in those days, we didn't have big groceries and the shops and stuff every day. And you know what? I used to hear black people saying, all you don't buy no bread and thing from Miss Eva. Because Miss Eva does need she flour with dead people water. She say Miss Eva have a dead man hand somewhere inside of the back of some place. And that is what she does use to mix up the thing to make the cake. Now, could you tell me? I never hear nobody say that about Kiss. I never hear nobody say that about them at all. Today, Kiss own all the baking apparatus in this country, all. From Bermuda's go right back. They own all of it. And I am just saying, I mean, it's how come
Miss Eva could have been like that. But you know what? We do our darndest to make sure that her business flops. And that goes around for everything that we do and everybody. So, Alan, I am saying to you, and this is before I go, I want to say, guard your business. Do the best that you can for you and do the best that you can for other people that you can help. I do the same. I try to help as much as I can, but I face my own boogeyman, so don't think that I don't. We all have it because, like I said, we were taught to hate ourselves. Hence the reason why you notice other people will open a small place today, and in no time flat, they have 10 other big businesses. And guess who they're supported by mainly? Because we are consumers. And I make no apology for that. African people in this country are the main consumers and the mainstay of all the other people in this country businesses. Whether it is the stores, their grocery, or everything else. We are the greatest supporter of all of that. And guess why? We don't have any of our own. And whenever one or two of us aspire to do it, they don't even take you on. They don't even come in your business and say let them support it. If they come in your business, it's to be destructive, it's to do something untoward or say something untoward about you to try to bring it down. And that is in the main. It doesn't mean that there's
Put
nothing
that frog in front of your business. Y'all say that
Ah,
Tony, go put a frog in front of your business.
yeah,
What, gentlemen?
yeah.
We need to take a break for what they call station identification, and we're going to come back, and everybody's going to have a chance to wrap up for what they want to,
Yes,
particularly.
Tony, because I have a 6 o'clock appointment to go to again.
Yeah, okay. So we'll come back to that in a short while. So
Definitely.
Charo, just do what you have to do, and we come back to the program.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Nett Radio.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
All right, so we are back inside. And remember, people, if you would like to advertise with us, you can call us at 299-5156. We'll take your calls. And of course, we will definitely like to have you here with us on New Era TT Radio. So, Tony, we are back with you.
Yeah, and as I keep reminding people, as a businessman in the East West Corridor, many years ago, 20, 30, 35 years ago, I used to say the man in the furniture business, he would say, we need the money.
Need the money.
Need the money.
Yes, the money is what helps you talk.
But when we say that, Tony,
Yes.
that is all right to say. But when we get the money, we must also say we need to spend it wisely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, Gypsy indicated that he has to leave in a short while. So, if you can give us your sort of wind-up comments as to how we could tackle this thing of self-denial. I think that that is what you've been saying.
Well, what I want to say, we have to, first of all, as a people, we have to actually enhance our awareness to ensure that we stop killing ourselves, that we start supporting ourselves, that we, not that we won't support other people, but that we aspire to support ourselves more, and we aspire to open more businesses so we would have more of ourselves that we can turn to. And that's about what we have to do. Everything in this world today, Tony, boils down to economics.
It boils down to economics, whether it's integrity or whatever else you want to have. It all boils down to economics. And the economics of the world, we have to learn to immerse ourselves in it so that we as a people can turn to ourselves for our economic sustenance. Because unless and until we do that, we are going to be forever be hewers of wood and carriers of water. That's what we are going to be. And we have to be self conscious. We have to understand who we are, first of all. Because if you don't like yourself, ain't nobody going to like you. And if you are not aspiring to take care of yourself, not even God is going to take care of you because that book that they have there say that God help those who help themselves. So you have to even God put the onus back on you to do what you have to do for your own self. So unless and until we do that, we are going to be forever who we are now and how we are.
Gypsy, you said something earlier in the program which triggers this question now in my mind.
Yes.
You're a man from Mayaro. You have your
Yes.
grounding in Mayaro. You live in Mayaro, I presume, for whatever time and so on. Do you get some kind of spiritual sustenance from your community being in Mayaro?
Most definitely. This is where I feel most spiritually enhanced in my Mayaro. Mayaro is a spiritual place, you know. It is because we have forgotten our own spirituality and we have turned to other man's spirituality and continue to fortify it. And while we do that, we allow our own spirituality to go down the drain like we have done with most of every other thing that was ours. We look at everything that everybody else has as superior to ours. And when they tell us, let me tell you something, let me say something. When you pass somewhere by an Indian place, right, and you see a bunch of flags in his yard, you know what people say? Oh, yeah, look at that. Exhibiting his spirituality and great. When you pass by an African house and have a lot of flags, they say, oh, will be a man living there. That place is some will be a man or some will be a woman or they with them set a flag in the place. The identical flags. When the Indian man ring his bell, just like he rings his bell and have his rituals, it is acceptable as puja and whatever else it is. When an African man do that, when ring his bell and oh God, he walking over here down the road down there. Look at he, look at that. Don't pass by he, don't go in that place. That will be a man place. So how would we, until we have lost our grounding in our own spirituality, and so we have to look for it, find it back, and in finding all of that is in finding ourselves.
Let me tell you something.
Yes,
Michael
Lord.
Anthony was my good friend.
So
And
was mine.
yes, and he told me that when his brother Sandoli died
Yes.
and buried, he said he
Yes.
was sing every word of Man Family. He knew it from back to front.
Yes.
And he felt very happy about that. That somebody
Yes.
could celebrate his brother like that.
Of course, because Zandoli was my mentor, and so
Ah,
was Michael Anthony. I have known these people. Michael Anthony and my father went to school together, and they were friends. And when I grew up, and I came back to Trinidad, and I met Michael Anthony, and Michael Anthony became my dear friend as well.
right.
And these are the people who are my friends. These are the people I emulate. I emulate. Not, I didn't. I emulated Michael more than I did Zandoli because Zandoli was a talented but unambitious person, and therein lies the two difference. So Michael Anthony, I love Zandoli. I know him all my life, literally, but I love Michael as well, and I love Michael more because of Michael's own intellectuality that I myself like and want to emulate. So Michael became even more my friend than Zandoli. But I
Michael,
was happy to have known both of them.
Michael say, boy, Gypsy sing every word of Man Family.
Every word. And more than that, I have all his books.
Ah, yeah, 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 Michael.
I made sure that I bought them. I bought the entire collection of his work
He was my good
because
friend.
he was a great man, a great man. and a son of my
So,
son.
Gypsy, I want to thank you. You said you had to go. So, I want to
Yeah.
thank you very much for being part of the program this afternoon because we are really attempting, the whole of this is attempting to give some sense of self to
Yes.
young to move from where they are because on a daily basis, I have to report that other people, and I'm not saying anything against other people, they are great. They're moving forward, but black people backing back.
Tony, just let me say this one word before I go. These conversations need more continuity. These conversations need more extension. These conversations need to be tattooed in the consciousness of our people so that they can understand it. So I think these are conversations that is not a one-off thing. You must get more people who are conscious and who are willing to share this consciousness and have them on your programs more often, not once a week or twice a week, every day if possible. Because we do have enough people like that in our country, and if not in our country, in the diaspora, that you can bring to the fore to make sure that these things happen. So I am extremely happy to be here, and I'm extremely happy to be on it again if I have to be, because these are things that I take pleasure in doing. I love doing it, making my people conscious.
Thank you,
And
my friend.
Alan, all the best, my friend. All the best, Alan.
Same
Take
to you,
care. Keep
Gypsy.
up the good
Yeah.
work. God bless. All the best, Tony. Take care,
Okay,
man.
best to
All
you
right.
too.
Okay.
And Alan Ferguson, your opportunity to bring together, especially you started talking about the scrap iron industry, giving our listeners an appreciation
Hello.
of how the industry operates.
I finished. And
Yeah.
all right.
Go ahead, Alan. You're on.
Yeah, well, the scrapping industry is an industry that, I mean, employ a lot of workers. Not only the scrap people you see working in different areas in community, the van will go about in all different communities. I mean, not only workers you see working in the scrap yards, but it have the truck drivers, the drivers who drive the containers, the people, the people who do the paperwork to make sure it get export, the brokers. Um, we did something in Clarksonville when the industry did shut down. And we went by some of these shops and parlor. And when we interviewed these people to put it up on our page, it was like, let me tell you, every time the guys and them go out and sell the scrap every day, because in Clarksonville is hundreds and thousands of people operating. We just call Clarksonville the harbor scrap, meaning that there are more people working in scrap in Clarksonville than anywhere else in Trinidad. So when we go on and visit these shops and them, it was like, we ain't gaining nothing again because these guys not going out and work again because the industry shut down. So even the shop was balling. The people who sell in the shops, all of these things was going on. Every people who sell different things in Clarksonville was balling because of the amount of van collectors that are operating in the Clarksonville area. And I mean, all over Trinidad, if you go all over Trinidad 2 to 3 years ago, you seen buying scrap iron, buying batteries all over, and that is because it builds such a way that we could clean up the community. And because of how I is and how I want to do, I try to work with all the corporation, work with the corporation. So when it coming to the end of the year, when you throw out your old stove, your fridge, your whatever, your bed, we pick it up. We come and make sure that you didn't put it in the river or the ravine that could make it flood. We doing a, let me tell you something, we doing such a service to Trinidad and Tobago, and this is where we want to turn the scrap industry. When I look at what goes on in the scrap industry, I went abroad and I meet people, we bring people from England, from America, from Russia, from Turkey, from India. We bring all of them right here. We had discussion with them how we want to take because our petrol train closed down. And because our petrol train closed down, we want to take our operation in the sea. And that is why when we look at Trinidad waters, I know it's packed with one set of derelict ships and all over it was in a mess. And we take people and then we we showed them that we wanted able to clean up our shores, and we had different meetings and how we could do it. And we take test runs because we had big ship out of Trinidad, a little bit out of the water, and we was cutting up the ship and putting it in a ship right there. So we know what we could do to get rid of all these ship and then because a lot of people don't know we do test runs and know how we could get rid of the ship. We did all of that already. We had bring people here how to get rid of the oil in the ship, how to get rid of the all the different things could cause harm to people in the ship. We understand that. We have tested all the runs already, so we understand that. So when we say, let me tell you something, if it costs the government not $1 to get rid of the ship, it's because it's not something we think about only today. We had to work on it and know that what we could do to get rid of all these problems. And that is why we straighten what we say, because we will spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do all the different study. We will have bringing people because we didn't have all the qualification in our industry. So we had to bring in different people to help us work, to put this proposal, to put this plan together to get rid of all this shit. We had months and it taken from 2013 to 2021 to put this together, and we would have done all of that.
What has
And
been
when
the
we
reaction of the past government and the present government to this initiative on the part of the scrap iron dealers?
No, well, the last government, everybody know we had tried all my best. I had do all the necessary thing. We had went to the AMA had said they will do everything to make sure that a project like this go on. We went to, oh gosh, there's so much agency that we went to. We also went to the Minister Energy, and we put the whole proposal, the whole plan together. We had the whole planning from bringing the ship to the shore and doing everything. We showed them everything, videos, how we could do it and how we would do it and all these things. We had done that. We went to all the maritime. Every single person has said this is going to be a project. This will be a project that if we started and land and shore, it will employ 1,000 people one time because what we will do when we finish cleaning up Trinidad, we will start to attack the Caribbean. And in doing that now, we will have, there's some big cruise ships that they need to get rid of. Once we start doing that, they start to bring the cruise ship in Trinidad because we have contact internationally and working with different people all in different countries. We will have started bringing ships here to cut up in Trinidad and it will have opened one of the biggest market for us. So we do all of that and we ready now. So we had tried with the first government, PNM we didn't get through. Now we will go all out to try to get this government to work with us to do this project. I mean, you see, a lot of people don't know, but Petrotrin used to supply us with 75% of the material we get in our industry used to come from Petrotrin. Petrotrin is not no longer with us again. And now we now have to find a different way now to work to keep our members operating and our business going. So we will see if we want to take this industry now to the sea because the sea have enough work for our members. So it's not something that we think about today. When you look at saving the environment, we understand all of that. We will make sure that no more than 20 feet we scan out. We put potential things in place to make sure the oil and boom no more than 20 feet no way where we could get rid of it. We will make sure that places ships that damage in such a way that you are getting problem to get the oil. We have done a lot of work to make sure that we understand what we have to do to clean all the ships on them and to get them ready to cut it up. And the equipment that we will use is not the old equipment. We will use equipment. If you're operating for 6 months, we will be operating for a month because the equipment that we're using will cut up the ships in a short period of time. All of these things is things that we want to do.
So are you still hopeful that the
No, no,
government is
I don't see anybody. I don't see nobody challenging me because let me tell you something. If the government hire somebody to do that, it will cost them millions of US dollars. Millions. The kind of money I talking about 100 million, more than 100 millions, plenty money, and we say we taking it for $1. And you know why? It's because this country, I love my country, and I don't study money alone. We will make money because we have the idea what we'll do. Because up to the oil we will sell, every single thing in the ship we will sell. Because we just recyclers, we recycle everything. So that's how I approach it.
There's a lot of material around the country in Trinidad and
Yes,
Tobago, that is.
yes, and not that alone. It will bring in foreign exchange for the country. They need to understand that. They need to understand that.
And your organization is prepared to go up the islands also and carry the industry up and down the Caribbean.
I had done already, doing that already. Up to last week, I was quite up in Bahamas. I was in all the whole Caribbean. I meet with prime ministers. I meet with the people who interact in recycling all over. And by the end of next month, we will be launching the Caribbean Association in Recycling. And you know who they will be putting, you know who the director, I mean, they want to put to be the president, the acting president, you know, it's me. So everything looks good for Trinidad and Tobago, not only for, I mean, we have the knowledge. Let me explain something to you. When people watch the outside of Trinidad and Tobago, what we have not a knowledge, you know. And I saw I didn't have the book, the magazine, the top magazine, the whole recycling. You know how many signing? The center page. They have me as one of the person who understand about the recycling. And because of my country and because of who I am, they don't recognize that. They don't recognize it. And we go back to sometimes to wonder. I just ask myself, some people don't like me to say it, but I didn't make myself. It's God make me how I am. So I can't bet with myself being black. I can't bet with me being black. I cannot. I didn't have no
Right, and one of the important things about
opportunity. I didn't have no choice. I didn't have no choice in my life.
one of the most important things about your industry is that it hires all kinds of people who will probably not get a job anywhere else, but in
Yes.
terms of the scrap iron business.
Yes. And you see, some people will get themselves in problems, and then when they get in the industry and they work with us and because they have people like myself and other people who tell them things and give them good understanding in life, we make things much easy for them, you know. You know what we do to make things easy for them? We just cook food every single day to make sure they get food in it. They rather buy lunch or thing in breakfast and lunch and things, they rather buy that. So we make it easy for them. Me, I especially, I do that. I do that for my workers and I make it easy for them. Easy. People say, I'm a madman, you know. People say, I'm a madman. You understand? So these are the things that we do to help them and try to make them understand that their sons and daughters will be looking at them and they need to go a straight
One
way.
day you must invite me to your plant. Let me see how things going, do some interviews with people and so on, so that we could tell the full story of the scrap iron industry in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, as soon as we get back going as how we was going, you know, now we in a terrible state and we trying to fight it out. We hope that this government will work with us to pull we out of it because right now every day I have to speak with people and beg them to stay in the industry. It's not an easy place to be because a lot of people use up a lot of the money to keep floating because of how the industry is not as how it was, you know. It's just sometimes you make and it's frightful. But I don't want to come to these Trinidad and Tobago no sad story because I think that as I just all mentioned, every road have an end. And no matter how long this road is, it will end. So I had that feeling, strongly feeling that we will able to bounce back and bounce back strong. You know?
Allan Ferguson, President of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association, we want to thank you for coming and sharing with us this afternoon and sharing with our listeners, our viewers, the situation of moving from one spot in your life where you born. You don't have to stay there for the rest of your life. You could advance forward, and I'm glad for the lessons that you left with us and our listeners this afternoon. And I'm sure that I'll be calling on you at some point in the future again. Thank you very much, Allan, for this.
It's a pleasure, man. I wish you could call me anytime.
Okay, then. All
I'll
right,
speak to
Charlo.
Allan.
Right. Charlo, this is where we leave it. And just to inform our listeners, we have a very important program tomorrow. We are expecting the Minister of Planning, and we are also expecting the Minister of Trade and Industry and Tourism to be with us. And we also are having representatives of the manufacturing industry and the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry to talk about how we transform the economy into the future. It's a very important program, and be with us at the same time, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thank you very much, Tony, and thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much to your guests, all of your guests today. So, really appreciate it. All right, people, this has been your Drive Time Exchange.
Paradise, driving in the limousine, where every